You know, every strong marriage starts with friendship, but somewhere between the bills, the kids, and the chaos, we forget to actually be friends. Today, we're talking about how to bring laughter, curiosity, and connection back. Because as John Gottman says, at the heart of a happy marriage is a deep friendship.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to Imperfectly Married, the podcast.
Where real talk meets real marriage.
We're Michael and Heather.
26 years in and still figuring it out.
No filters, no fluff.
Just real love.
Real life.
And a whole lot of grace.
Amen.
Hey, friends. Welcome back to the podcast. Appreciate you showing up again. Hi, my love.
Hello.
We are back here to bring up some great topics about marriage. One thing I want to do, though, is I want to really encourage you to subscribe, to like, to comment. One, we love to get feedback on your thoughts on our episodes and kind of what we're doing. The second is we truly want to reach as many married couples and relationships as we can because we want to engage them. We want to encourage them. We want to support marriages. So share this with somebody, tell your friends, get the word out there. We would love your support and love in that way. And also subscribe or like, whichever platform you're on. It's either a subscribe button or a heart, right? Something like that.
I don't know.
You don't know.
Well, I only use Apple Podcasts. So that's always subscribe.
That's true.
That's the only one that I use.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know the others.
You've never been on YouTube?
I've never subscribed or followed anything on YouTube. I don't even think that I follow our own podcast on YouTube because I don't even know that I log in. I have issues.
This is
it's
great.
Fine.
This is so good. Well,
Anyways.
anyway, we want to remind you, get the word out there because our hearts are to minister to couples and marriages.
Yeah.
Yep. So today we have a great subject or topic, and I told myself before recording is that I wasn't going to say it was either good or exciting topic because what else are we going to bring? Are we going to purposely come in here and say, "Hey,
this is an
absolutely terrible topic that we're going to talk about." So, but today is good because today is important and the topic is important. We're talking about friendship in marriage and cultivating friendship in marriage. And you had mentioned even just before we got on, before we started recording is John Gottman, right? Who he's a psychologist. He's an author of many books. We've read some of them. We've also walked couples through premarital counseling by using his books. And one of the things that he has a quote that he did, the happiest couples share a deep friendship system, knowing each other's world, cheering each other on, and having fun together. Like the very foundation of marriage, according to his research, and I would say even our experience in our own marriage, is friendship. And it doesn't matter if you've been married for 2 years or 20, friendship is something that you have to work at. It's not like you fall into friendship one time and it's there. It's something that has to be cultivated because it changes over time.
Yeah, it's just like any friendship. It's like you have to nurture that friendship or else you just eventually drift apart. And you can reconnect in ways that are like special, but it's like if you're going to have a healthy, sustaining marriage, I love John Gottman's view on he said something, I'll totally butcher it because I don't have the exact quote, but he said that he can always identify whether or not a couple is going to make it within like seeing them interact within 30 seconds of each other because he can immediately pick up if they have that friendship tie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I love that because it's like, that's what you built your relationship on in the first place. It's like when you first get to know someone and see if you even want to date them, it's like you're building and cultivating a friendship.
Absolutely.
And so that foundation is what gets you to even like each other in the first place. So if you lose that level of friendship later on in your marriage, it's like your marriage foundation is going to be a little bit unstable.
And where we started high school sweethearts. That's kind of where that is where we started. We started with a friendship. In fact, before we even started dating, we called ourselves, the relationship that we said it was like being a brother and sister. It was just.
Well, let's be clear. You were dating my best friend and I was dating your best friend. So we had to say that we were brother sister.
That's true. There didn't have any other choice, but it really did start that way.
And we did have like a really deep like friendship first that was built on, conversation, hanging out together. We would always hang out with groups, but it's like we would always find ourselves talking with each other.
Yeah. And I mean, I know for me, although I wanted to be together with you, we couldn't because we were dating other people and stuff like that. So my way of getting as close as I could to you was to be a good friend and to be an intimate friend in the sense of.
So you were manipulating me.
I guess you could say that. Yeah, there was some manipulation going on, but it was also true at the same time where it
was very sincere.
Yeah, where I wanted to know you, I wanted to understand you, and again, I had ulterior motives. I wanted to get as close as I could. Like, well, if I can't date you, I guess I can be as close as I can with you, but that's often where relationships start. The sad thing, though, I think nowadays is it's more about friendship is lower on the priority list because it's one, how you look, how you treat me, and what can you do for me.
When you say how I look, are you saying like physically or how I?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. So, someone's attractiveness physically,
gotcha.
Someone's attractiveness physically. And then I feel that a lot of times that is the more important thing. Now, attraction does get you there first, right? I'm not saying that's the only way because it's not, but many times that is the first thing that kind of draws your attention.
Sure.
And then you go from that point to a level of friendship. I think what I've observed in the culture now a little bit is it never does get to the point of real friendship. It's just, we're companions. You're cute. I'm cute. Let's do fun things together. And then I guess we should get married or never get married. And then we'll just be, we're just going to be partners together.
Companions.
That's kind of all that you're doing. Yet there is no level of real deep friendship because friendship is those are the roots that keep you grounded, right? I mean, friendship is the thing that gets you through oftentimes the tough times in your life is, you have difficulty. I don't know how many things that we've gone through in our own marriage where if we weren't friends, truly wanted to be together with each other, the result of those difficult things would have been very different, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it actually even just happened last night. Ooh, it's gonna make me cry. Gosh, I haven't cried on an episode in a long time. Is
that really true?
Whatever.
Yeah.
But last night I woke up and I was just having, it's like you just have like those like feelings of like anxiety. And my first thought was I wanted to wake you up to like share with you what I was kind of going through. And it's like, those are the things that I'm so appreciative of in our friendship and in our relationship is that I have a level of comfort with being able to express those things. It's like a lot of women would just like wait till they woke up or like call their best friend and like share with their best friend. But it's like, you are my best friend. Like, I want to do everything with you. I want to it's funny because it's like when the women are like, let's have a girls' night. I'm always like, oh, okay.
Cool. Can my husband come?
I think it's really important to have those moments.
Absolutely.
But it's funny because it's like we do so much of life together, but I really do enjoy spending time with you. And I do think that is something that's missing. And when you're building that firm foundation of a friendship in the beginning, it's like you can easily lose that level of friendship when you get stuck in like the mundane routine of like paying bills, going to work, kids. Like when you start throwing kids in there, it's like you literally become this robot of just rhythms of life. And so it's like you have to have that firm foundation to be able to come back to. And I love John Gottman. He references like a love map. And it's like how we're both always building a love map. And it's like what I love about that is it's like if I was going to go and explore, you know, a mountain to build a map, I'm going to have to investigate every aspect of that mountain in order to draw an accurate map. And it's like that's what we should be doing and cultivating today. Even in our 26 years of marriage, we should still be building on that map. And it's like, because let's be real, the terrain has changed.
No, it absolutely has. And the friendship that we had on day one is not even near the friendship that we have now.
No.
And of course, time has a lot to do with that, but it was time and intention that had to do with that as well, is we needed to have the desire to want to know each other, not to just stand each other or put up with each other. So many times, as you were giving that explanation about, you know, you wanted to wake me up and talk to me about it. And I love that. And I wish you would have. But there's so many times that there are other relationships that you're right. They would just call their best friend, and then
Right.
their husband would never know what interaction that had. Now, we're not necessarily saying that that's bad. There's relationships that you need outside of your marriage. However, there are opportunities that are missed to create such intimate level friendship connection when your confidant or your first person is not your spouse. And I understand it. Let's say you've been married for 10 years and you don't have that level of relationship, and maybe you want it. Maybe you want that level of friendship. You just don't have it. It's never too late. We're always saying that. Nothing is ever too late, because as you were talking about the love map, that map changes all the time.
Yeah.
I remember we were on our way to somewhere, and I asked you, what's your new favorite color right now? Because it changes, right? Right? I mean, you might be the same favorite, but I was interested in knowing, like, what is it now? Like, because it changes, and that's the reality. And asking those kinds of questions and it's not a step by step. It really is having the mindset of, I want to be my spouse's friend, because we say this in the church a lot for those of faith, that God, the Bible said God loves you, right? And it says it all over the Bible. No one would say that that's not the truth. It's almost like saying God's job is to love you. But some people think he doesn't really like me that much, which it's weird. Love should supersede all, which it does. But sometimes in our minds, we're like, well, you're supposed to love me because I'm your spouse.
Right.
But I want you to like me. I want you to want to spend time with me, not because you signed a paper that says you're committed to loving me or committed to me in such way. And let me close the loop on the Bible, that God likes you very much, by the way. But that's also true in a friendship like marriage. The friendship part goes to the liking part of the relationship, as opposed to the obligatory love aspect.
Right. Yeah, I would say that in our relationship, we haven't always had that strong foundation
I agree.
of friendship.
Yeah.
I think it started off that way. Then when we got in the crazy world of kids and raising kids, I think that kind of faded from us. And I do actually remember you like with tears in your eyes saying, I don't think that you actually like me.
I remember that.
And that was a big turning point. But honestly, like for me, I would say that when we've gone through really hard times in our marriage or just in life, actually, because I'm looking more at like, you know, the death of my mom, like kid struggles, you know, like those types of things. It really drew me to you because it's like I clung to you as a spouse, but also a friend. Like it's like just being there, supporting one another in that moment, just really solidifies and bonds you in a way that's just incredible.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is, because over time it's a drift. You don't see it coming.
Yeah.
You're just off a little bit. That doesn't mean there isn't love in the air. That doesn't mean any of that. What happens though, and I'm very susceptible to this, is you get into routine. You get into routine, and if there's no friction, then you just kind of, okay, well, you're just kind of doing the thing, and it's Monday through Friday. It's, you know, you do all of that, and then you get stuck in that rut of, wait, we're just almost like just teammates in a way. We're roommates more, actually, and I would, and a relationship like that would never say, I don't love you. I love you. You're my spouse. I love you. Yeah. But when do you want to spend a night with me? Do you want to go out? This isn't, and I'm not necessarily saying that friendship equates or always has to equate intimacy, romantic things, physical intimacy. Friendship does include all of that because it deepens your friendship, but just the desire and intention of wanting to be together just in your togetherness is a huge thing. And it makes me, I so want couples to get that, because you can see it when couples don't, like, oh, it's my husband. He's just, you know, or the other way. It's just like, you know, my wife is just, I don't want, like a husband. And I don't want to impugn anyone's relationship. All marriages are different and they work in their own particular way.
Yeah.
But I do believe that across the board is standard for everyone should be a level and foundation of friendship, because that is the thing that greases the wheels to your relationship, is friendship and not just obligation.
Yeah. And like what you were saying is that it's like you can always rebuild. And if you haven't rebuilt, you can always start building. And it's really by knowing like your spouse's, you know, inner world, like what are their thoughts? What are their dreams? What are their aspirations? What are their hopes? What are their desires? All of those things lead to a deeper level of connection and friendship. It's like when you're starting to get to know someone, you're asking them those things. Like, you know, we would always ask like, oh, if you won the lottery, what would you do?
I love this conversation.
You know? And it's just like, it's
so fun to dream.
It's trivial like conversation, but what it does is it creates that level of friendship and but also that level of intimacy, because you're sharing things that it's you're like, oh, I don't even know that I've ever thought about this.
Absolutely.
And you know, one of the things that we've always done too is we get those question boxes, and it's like we'll pull questions when our kids were little. We used to always do highs and lows of the day. And so it's like we've always tried to really like instigate conversation, and in conversation builds friendship.
You know, there's a part of friendship where, and I think this happens in marriage sometimes, where you just kind of look at each other and be like, I don't really know you anymore. Right. And even if you have a good friendship, that can absolutely happen.
It can still happen.
The important thing to do, though, is it's not failure. You haven't reached a point of failure. It's not failure at all. It's just a reminder to now be intentional about ask a question, hey, what's your favorite this or da 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 da, like what, that is how friendship is cultivated, and it has to be cultivated. It's not one and done. It will die on its own.
Right. It's kind of like the rumble strips on the freeway.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like those are the types of things that it's like, if you're listening right now and it's like, you're like, oh, actually, I don't even know if I've cultivated, a deeper relationship, or I actually feel like we've kind of drifted away from those things. It's like, this is your rumble strip to get back in the lane and get intentional about building and rebuilding, because now and now you can do something about it.
And fight the fear of it might be awkward, or fight the fear of maybe my spouse doesn't want to be my friend. Like, fight the fear of that and be the first one. They're always that's one of the most important things that you and I have really tried to master in our relationship is someone always needs to give in. Someone always needs to give in, because if you allow just things to stay the way that they are, no big deal, because of the fear of either a conversation or the fear of something might be uncomfortable, or your spouse is gonna be angry with it, whatever the case may be, really fight against that, because for one, this is what the enemy of our world does. When you come from a faith standpoint, the enemy wants you to think that things are going to be harder than they might actually be, because if he can, because the enemy of this world is trying to destroy marriage. He has from the beginning. He doesn't like it because it's ordained by God. So if he can, sure, be married in the same household, but he's trying to get you to a place to where you really don't like each other. And then now people see marriage as that. And now other people don't want to be married because the representation that they've seen is these people don't even like being together. I'm not going to get married because I don't want that to happen to me. So the enemy, that's what he wants to happen.
It causes fear that looks miserable. I don't want that for myself. So I'm never going to find a spouse that is anything other than that.
Oh, so that's a great addition. Absolutely true. And so fighting the fear that is true for you, and even, let's say, even if it is true for you, still fight against it and try to find, try to find the good in your relationship and the good in your spouse to begin that seed of friendship to grow, because it can begin to grow at any time. All you got to do is water it. All you got to do is cultivate it. Yeah. All you have to do is start taking steps in the direction of friendship, and it will begin to grow. And sometimes it takes a little bit of work. You didn't always like the things I liked. I didn't always like the things that you liked.
I don't know why, because the things that I like are pretty awesome.
They pretty much are. So that's the thing. And most of the things that I now like are because you have given me a new outlook on the things, and it's absolutely wonderful. But sometimes the way we look at friendship needs to be centered on, I want to like the things that you like because I like you.
Yeah.
Instead of, I need to like the things you like because I just need to like it. Like it needs to be good enough for me to like, instead of, no, I'm going to like it because I like you. And then I find so much value in what we do together. And now you're doing it together. And then all of a sudden now it'll be reciprocated, where it's going to come back. And then now your spouse is like, well, let's do something that you want to do. And, cultivating that world is so, so very important, and it's less challenging than you may think today.
Yeah. And I just wanted to touch on some of the things that you were saying about conflict and, giving in, because you're right. One person has to be the one to give in, because I think that when we're sitting there holding the grudges is what like it poisons like the connection. And so it's kind of toxic. And so what it'll do is it'll kind of seep into, into the relationship and into the foundation of the friendship, because we're not centering on grace.
Resentment.
And that resentment and grudges can just really fracture and break everything. And I think that it's like going back to the enemy's strategy to cause destruction in marriage. It's, well, you're right. You hold your own. It's like, those are the things that the enemy says to us.
Yeah,
that
you
it's
deserve
like,
that. Yeah.
Like you don't give in, because then it's like, they'll think you're right.
Be a strong husband or a strong wife.
Yeah.
Or,
And it's like, and I think that that's one of like the challenges, is that a lot of the times we want to hold on to our rightness or our pride, and we don't want to humble ourselves because we feel that it makes us look weak or makes us admit that we were wrong. And the reality is that you can have both. You can humble yourself and like have your truth still be accurate for you, but you can also lower your pride to repair a relationship, and you can have both.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's one thing that we miss a lot in conflict and in relationships, is that it's like, we're so stuck on being right, or that I was hurt, or justifying my pain, that it's like when we see that, it's like, I'm never intending to hurt you, and I'm always on your side. I'm always on your team. And in any of my friendships, it's like, that's what it is. I never intend to hurt anyone, but it's like, sometimes in my own pain and in my own hurt, I can cause that to spill out. But also humbling yourself to be able to come to the place of just like, hey, like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean that. It's like, sometimes I'll look over you and I'll be like, I was a total B right there. Sorry. and it's like that
repair.
making a humorous repair for me is my way of like being like, whoa, like, so sorry. And just because of my personality, and because I didn't grow up in a lot of, I think my dad and my mom have probably said sorry to me maybe twice my whole entire life.
True.
And so it's like we just weren't an apologetic family. So I didn't learn relationship repairs and healthy ways of being able to communicate. I've had to study it, and I've had to read books. I've had to watch other couples. I've had to ask questions of married couples. I've had to learn that from other people, because it wasn't an example that was set for me.
And see, that is such a huge part of friendship, is being able to apologize. I mean, relationship across the board, but in friendship, and and even outside of your marriage relationship and friendship, apologizing, taking accountability, or being accountable, taking responsibility, that is also so very important. What's difficult sometimes, I think, in marriages is that the friendship is fractured to the place to where they don't feel safe, and they want to hold their own, right? Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna be weak in front of you, and that is such. One of the biggest lies that the enemy does put out there is that being humble is weak. It's absolutely insane. And that's why, because you don't see viral videos of, people going down the road being humble when somebody cuts them off, because that you're not going to, no, you are seeing people go absolutely nuts and crazy, and people think that's strength. Like, I'm going to show you. But,
well, I don't think it's strength. I think it's stupid.
It absolutely is. But the person doing it thinks this is strength, right? But instead, that taking that position of meekness and being humble, that's actually more strength. And it's hard because our culture elevates this expressive way of dealing with their perceived hurt, and really the true strength. The true strength is being humble. And when you bring that into your marriage as a component of friendship, there is nothing more, what's the word, to de-escalate a situation is when someone comes in with a true and authentic apology. I'm really sorry. That's just acknowledging like everything was just bad. And I am sorry for that. And
it's never too late to apologize.
Oh my gosh, never.
Like, I know that we've had some conflict. We're both very passionate and expressive people. And sometimes it's like it takes a couple days to just be like, hey,
yeah, about that.
Totally.
The thing.
Totally sorry.
Yeah.
And I think that when we step back, and we often say this to each other, that it's like, hey, like, I'm on your team. I love you and I support you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to see it your way. I'm just kind of stuck right now. And it's like, I think one of the things that we've learned too is have those honest conversations of where we feel kind of stuck or like ground in. It's like sometimes
like
it's
my
like
heels are deep right now.
Yeah, like I feel like it's like I can't get out of this because it's like I've shared with you before. I mean, I don't share this often. I can get better at this, but it's like sharing that it's like, hey, I'm stuck in my pride right now. Like my pride is like, whew. And it's like, I'm having a hard time overcoming that. And it's like, I think that when you have that safety in a relationship and in a friendship and in a marriage, it's like this is my weakness. Like I'm here and I'm saying this is where I'm broken and this is where I'm trying to overcome. But it's like right now I feel stuck and I can't overlook this, or I can't unsee my rightness. Like I've said that to you before, that it's like I'm so stuck in feeling right and like justified in my rightness.
And
that
you
it's
very
like,
well may, and you very well may be.
I can't even apologize. And then it's like 3 days later, it's like I'll come and be like, hey bro. Yeah. But it's like that's because we have that deep relationship and friendship, that I trust you in my weakness and I can share all of like my vulnerabilities. And when we do have those spicy conversations of where it's like we're both very expressive, it's coming back later and really dialoguing out what actually happened. Because I think what that does is it creates that level of safety within friendship again, that it's like we can have a spicy conversation, but then it's like, hey, let's actually like repair what was maybe fractured in that moment. It's again creating that roadmap and that love map to be able to be reminded that it's like we are on the same team, we love each other, and it's like now I'm rebuilding my trust that maybe was fractured in that conflict.
See, absolutely. And a foundation of good friendship makes conflict an opportunity for strength in your marriage as opposed to a fracture in your marriage. Because in that conflict, as you've just been talking about, when friendship is the thing that you're standing on, the direction that you're going to go with your mind generally in this conflict is much different when I just need to get to the goal and win so that you lose, as opposed to us coming together. That doesn't mean the conflict isn't heated and going, but when I know I'm not trying to defeat you, we're having a conflict. Through that, the result of that conflict, because of the basis of friendship, then now becomes a torn muscle that grows to be stronger because you made it there together, and you can look at each other, wake each other up in the middle of the night and say, I need to talk to you about this. Like, yeah. I remember one time where we were at a restaurant and we were we were having a conflict, and of course it always continues in the car and getting home. But I hate it. Right. And I remember going to bed, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and I was horrified at not apologizing. And I know you remember this because I told you I was going to wake you up in the middle. Because the very first thing we did when we woke up in the morning, I didn't even let you get out of bed. And I turned over and I said, I am so sorry for, last night. Because after you just kind of think about it, you're like, what in the world was I even going with the things? It's just, what in the world? And just no vain imaginations out there. We're not ugly when we are conflict. I'm not talking about that. It's just when you have an attitude, when you have an attitude, you just make things worse. It's like
we're pretty passionate and we're spicy with attitude and body language of excuse me?
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, everybody's entitled to be wrong. It's like, just these things. But I remember I was so, because I needed, because we both of us, we need this in our relationship, is to have that friendship always working, because when it's not working, it feels so weird. And I remember I'm like, you're like, you should have just woke me up in the middle of the night and did, yeah, probably would have slept better. Anyway.
No, I was like, why haven't you slept all night? I'm like, just wake me up, say your apology, go back to sleep.
Yeah. So if you're in a relationship right now, you're in a marriage, and you don't have that foundation of friendship that we're describing. One, I want to encourage you, don't be dismayed. Don't, because you can gather that it can come. But I think there's some practical things that you could probably do to start to become, and even if you were friends and that's kind of petered out. I think there's some practical things that you can do. And one of the things is just be curious again. Be curious about your spouse. Don't think that you know everything. The way they were 10 years ago is the way that they are today. Start asking questions. Whatever the question, it doesn't matter. Everybody can figure out what is it that you like? What do you like about that TV show? Just people like talking about themselves. Most people like talking about themselves. And so just as, but then also being playful. I that's one thing that you really enjoy, is keeping things light. And it's your personality, keeping things light and not heavy. And you've done a good job at knowing that there is a time and place for weighty conversations, and you got to walk through the muck of all that. But maintaining a playful, just time with each other, and maybe that's not necessarily your relationship with your spouse, but it could be, right? If you're only looking to be irritated, you will be irritated every single time. I promise you that. But if you try to find the humor, the fun, the playful, isn't it amazing? Humor and friendship just dissipates so much stuff. You just laugh about something, and it's just like everything falls away. All of a sudden, the hardness of your exterior just falls off because of something funny. And I think,
go to a comedy club on a date night. If you're even struggling for that, like, go to a comedy club.
That's actually a great idea.
That actually instigates fun and laughter. Yeah. And you don't have to have it together, but it's like you're experiencing it together.
Sit back a few rows.
Totally don't get roasted.
Yeah, you don't want to, this is supposed to be fun and you're calling me names. But I think those two things are also are important to start getting that going again. Get that rake out and start cultivating. Start turning that dirt over to reacquaint yourself, reappreciate, rediscover.
Everybody likes friendship and everybody wants friendship. So I can promise you that if you are feeling this lack, your spouse is feeling that lack too. Maybe they aren't even aware that this is that missing factor. Just start and just go and just risk it. Like, everyone wants friendship. And I think that in a marriage, it's so important because you had it in the beginning. I would imagine that 90 99% of marriages started with friendship.
Because there was an interest in each other at that point, even beyond physical and social and all that kind of stuff. There was an interest in who they were.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I'm glad you're my friend.
I'm glad you're my friend.
You're my best friend.
You're my best friend. We should get BFF bracelets.
I think that might be a good idea.
They're usually girly though.
Oh. Hey, I'll do it. I mean, I'll totally do it. So I'm taking a cue from how you usually end the podcast, and I have a quote.
You have a quote.
I have a thing.
I love this.
Yeah, it's not funny. It's just it's encouraging.
It doesn't have to be funny.
No, I love it because I love it.
It's
So it's
fun.
this. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, I got it. Okay. A good marriage isn't built on chemistry alone. It's built on two friends who keep choosing curiosity, laughter, and grace over and over and over and over again.
I love that.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Got kind of goosebumpy. Is that good?
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
All right.
I love you.
I love you.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Thanks for spending time with us today on Imperfectly Married.
We hope something in today's episode encouraged you or gave you a fresh perspective.
If it did, share it with a friend, leave a review, or connect with us on our social platforms.
Remember, no marriage is perfect.
But yours is worth fighting for.
See you next time.